It's wild to say I've been living on the road full-time for a little over 4 years now. And I started this journey in my old Jeep towing a travel trailer. And at first it felt like freedom, but towing meant campgrounds, reservations, and neighbors close by. And that wasn't what my heart was craving, because I didn't leave one version of crowded life to create another. I wanted seclusion, dirt roads, silence, mountains outside my window. So after that first year, I let the trailer go. And I moved fully into my Jeep, just me, my dog, and the essentials. Now that Jeep was built to be a rock crawler with 37-inch tires and a big lift, not a cross-country traveler. But we put miles on her. Living in that small space gave me something bigger than comfort. It gave me freedom. Hidden camps, sunsets that felt like they were meant just for me and my dog. All that travel, though, wore her down, and eventually I moved into a new Jeep, making a few changes to make full-time travel more sustainable. And looking back, it's kind of crazy that I lived in Jeeps for over 3 years. Such small spaces, but a big life, hard seasons, beautiful seasons, and growth in ways I never expected. And then came my schoolie. After years of folding myself into tight spaces, stepping into my best felt like walking into a mansion. Space to stand, space to breathe, a real home on wheels, more comfort, more stability, and more room to just exist. And I love my schoolie. Each chapter taught me something. The trailer taught me what I didn't want. The Jeeps taught me resilience and simplicity. And the bus is teaching me balance. So now I find myself wondering, what's next? Let's see, my little baby is still over there. Oh, there's her little head. She's awake now. She was sleeping, but she heard Mama's voice. Good morning, sweet girl. Good morning. Hi, baby. Good morning. Good morning, baby. Oh, good morning. Nice little pretty baby. Coming back up. As I'm driving down this dirt road today, I can't help but think about how much thought I've given to this moment over the past few months. This isn't something I decided overnight. It's been sitting in my heart, growing, and quietly nudging me. 4 years ago, I chose a life that most people would be too scared to choose. In those 4 years, they've been incredible, hard, beautiful, and transformational. I've seen places that healed and parts of me I didn't even know were broken. But lately, I've felt it, that gentle shift. The feeling that it might be time for something different. And that's what today is about, driving 8 miles down this dusty, bumpy road. It might not look much to anyone else, but to me, it feels like the first stretch of a brand new chapter. Now I've gone back and forth and questioned myself, but deep down, I know this change will be good for me and my dog. Growth doesn't always mean staying the same just because something isn't working. Sometimes growth means recognizing when you've outgrown a season, even if that season was beautiful. But I'm ready for a shift, a challenge, ready for something that stretches me in a new way. It's going to be difficult. I'm not naive about that. Change always is. There will be doubt, uncomfortable moments, adjustments, and maybe even a few tears. But there will be lots of excitement. So as I drive down this dirt road, I can feel it in my chest, that spark, that nervous but hopeful energy. The kind that tells you you're stepping into something meaningful. This dirt road, it's just the beginning. Look at what I'm driving today, guys. My Jeep. Feels so good to be back in my Jeep. And I needed to come back and get my Jeep to go exploring on all these off-roads right here, because the news that I had to share with you guys about some changes that might be happening with me and the channel is, are you guys ready? I am taking like the next month to go look at a bunch of different properties. Because I'm just ready to have a homestead, do the off-grid living. I'll still travel and everything. I'll get into all the details and everything a little later on in this video, but right now I'm just taking you guys along with me to look at some of these properties because they're all in the same county. And what I'm looking for has to be very secluded also, like extremely secluded. Like right now where we're at, this property that we're looking at, 8 miles down this dirt road right here. And well, not really digging this one right here because of the fact that it's just too much stuff on the property. There's no open areas to, you know, put the vehicles and set up a little tiny home or whatever structure I decide to live in. But it's just too much. There's not even any road access into these properties. But the road access isn't going to be a huge problem because we know we can make an accessible road. And when I keep saying we, I'm going to let you guys know about that later on in the video. But for right now, the beginning of this video is me going to look at all these pieces of property. And then I'm going to get back to my bus, sit down, and I'll discuss with you guys exactly what's going on. So, first piece of property is a no-go. We have 4 pieces of land that I'm going to look at today. And the first one is definitely no. The county's right. I'm really hoping to find something in this county. Really hoping, but we'll see. All right, let's go check out the next one. I'm just happy to be back in the Jeep. Look, it's the Jeep. I figure going to check out these properties, since it's all pretty secluded places and you have to take dirt roads to get to all these properties, it was smart for me to check them out with the Jeep first to make sure it's going to be accessible for the bus. I feel like my Jeep can get me anywhere. figured I'd stop and talk to the locals out here. Talk to the locals and see what they think of the area. Hey guys, what do you guys think of the area? Is it a good area? Do you think it's great to have me as a neighbor out here? They're not very talkative. Very rude. I mean, there's a whole gang of them. I don't understand why they're being so rude. You guys don't have to be so rude. I'm very nice. I mean, if I was to get land out here, you guys would have to, you know, get used to me. What do you guys think? They're just looking at me like, who is this crazy lady with all those tattoos and those crazy looking hair? Is it okay if I film you guys? Is it okay if I put you guys on camera? I need permission sometimes. I need permission sometimes to ask before I film. But because you guys are just being rude and just staring at me, I'm gonna take that as a yep. Oh, look at this guy. Are you coming over to say hi? Are you coming over to say hi? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move on. Yep. Yep, good talk. Oh, now you guys want to be talkative and answer me. Now y'all want to answer. I'm already done with the questions. Now, I know a lot of people thought I already had land, and technically I did. A few years ago, I was gifted a couple of acres, and when that happened, I was overwhelmed with excitement. I drove out there for the first time, standing on it, looking around, and thinking, this is it. I finally had land. I finally had a home base. But I think my excitement took over in that moment. All I could see was possibility. I didn't slow down enough to really think it through. I just kept telling myself, I have land now, somewhere, that's mine. But when I went back again later and really looked at it, that's when reality started to settle in. It was a lot. The property needed some serious work. My Jeep could make it up there, but there was no way I could get my bus to it. The roads needed to be accessible, and the entire property was soft red dirt that turns into a muddy mess with rain or snow. And without bringing loads of gravel in, I'd be stuck up there half of the year. All that costs a lot of money. And after struggling financially for a while, it just wasn't realistic for me to try and develop this land on my own. The person who gave this to me was kind and told me they didn't care what I did with it, whether I lived on it or sold it. So I'm now trying to sell it. And then I had a great friend who owns property. He was kind enough to let me use a portion of his land as my home base, where I could take short breaks, store my Jeep and stuff, and allowed me to use his address for mail and registering my vehicles. So, when I would say I'm heading to my property, I was going there. I'd set up camp in the back of his land. It was just easier to say it that way instead of going into all the details. So I hope y'all understand. And here I am again, driving down another long dirt road. If there's one thing I know for sure about the land I want, is I want seclusion. I don't want neighbors, city lights, traffic noise. I want the kind of quiet that feels alive. The kind of quiet where you can hear the wind move across your land. 'Cause living in nature didn't just change me, it saved me. The peace I find out here in the wide open spaces healed parts of me that nothing else could. And I'm not willing to give that up. So, every property that I'll be looking at are down roads just like this. And while I'm enjoying driving my Jeep down these roads, I have to think about the bus and if it will make it also. I'm also looking for something specific, around 40 acres. I want space. I want the view from my future land to be nothing but nature. No homes in the distance, no property lines you can feel closing in, just land, sky, and silence. I want to step outside and see nothing but earth and horizon. So over the next few weeks, I've got a lot of properties to look at. And I'm hopeful. I'm excited. I'm waiting for that feeling, that wow moment where I step out and just, know. Like the land is speaking back to me. And these first 2 properties, honestly, I could not get my bus onto the land. So this isn't just about finding beautiful land. It's about finding land that works. Land that supports my life. So I'll keep driving down these long dirt roads and keep waiting for that one piece of earth that feels like the right kind of quiet. And when I find it, I think I'll feel it before I even say a word. What you think? Are you excited that we finally released the news to everybody? Well, there you have it. It's the big secret that I have been keeping for a little while now. I think this is going to be a good decision for me. So, one of the reasons why I decided this is it's going to be nice to have my own home base and my own place to call home instead of having to stay on a friend's property or constantly traveling. And let's just face it, last year for 2025, all year long, even though I saw some pretty amazing and epic spots last year, it was just basically me going from one place to the next, trying to find that next epic, amazing place for me to film and film. It wasn't enjoyment anymore. Now, I know a lot of you guys, not a lot of you guys, but some of y'all that are negative and love to be negative and rude on my videos, you guys have left comments saying stuff like, not all of y'all, it's a very small percentage, by the way, it's very small. But I have had comments from people saying, oh, this lifestyle is not for you. You should just go back to living, a normal life and in a house and all that stuff and having that normal life. You can't hack this lifestyle. I've done it for 4.5 years. 4.5 years. The first 3.5 years I did it by myself with my dog. The last year I started traveling with other people. And I'm not going to get into the story and all that stuff again because I have tons of videos, about everything. I don't want to repeat myself because this video is already long again already. But this lifestyle changed me. being on the road traveling, just living in nature changed me. It changed me for a better person. For the first time in my whole entire life, I got to experience what happiness was. I never had that. I got to experience what true peace was inside my heart, inside me, period. I never had that. And I know it's because I surrounded myself around nature over these last 4.5 years. I know that nature is what saved me. And so no, I don't want to give up living in nature. I don't want to go back to living in a city or a town with people and working a 9-to-5 job and the stress and anxiety and everything. I just don't want to do it. So this is the best thing for me, is to find some land that is secluded and take a break from traveling nonstop, full time. You know, the money that I'm spending on gas alone, going from one place to the next, adds up. Because unlike a lot of people, I abide by the rules that you're supposed to abide by living this lifestyle. Meaning, a lot of places you can only stay at for 14 days at a time, and then you have to move on to somewhere else. So every 14 days, I move into a different place, all over the United States, spending so much money on gas. Last year, I dipped into my savings account every single month. And so for the money that I've been spending on all this traveling, I can just find me a nice piece of property somewhere in nature and have that peace and that seclusion and that happiness. So it's time. Now, I know what some of you guys are thinking. You're thinking, oh, you just got the bus, you know, for traveling and everything. And I'm not getting rid of my bus. I absolutely love my bus. Absolutely love it. I will be taking road trips every once in a while. I'll still go and take a road trip to go camp or, you know, go see this place or whatever. I'll still go venture out. But the rest of this year, I think I'm going to be, well, I am. I'm going to be staying on the property. Now I'm going to go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. While I'm filming this part right here, where I'm talking to you guys right now, I have found land. I've got the land. It's not on this video that you guys just watched, but I do have land. And it was everything that I hoped for. And so starting in April is when I will be moving over to the land, and I will be moving my Jeep to the land, some of my stuff that's stored at my friend's property, and I will be starting everything then in April. Now, mind you, I do have a couple more videos that will be coming out because April is a far away time. It's like a couple months away. So I do have another video coming out, by the ways, showing me going to look at some other land. And obviously it didn't work out, but at least you guys can see the kind of stuff that I'm searching for and everything. I do have a couple more places that I have to go to before April. So there will be some adventure and travel videos coming out over the next month and a half until I get on the land, probably the next 2 months. But then once I get to the land, it's all going to be about the land. And it's going to take some time because this is all new to me. All of it's new to me. But I've lived off the grid, on the road, in nature for 4.5 years. It's going to be a learning process for sure for me. But after it's all said and done, it's going to be such a huge accomplishment to look out at everything that I built, everything that I did in my land. Now, in the beginning of this video, I'm sure you guys caught on to when I said we. I'm not talking about me and my little one. I do have two friends that are very, very good friends and that I trust with all my heart. I consider them like family. And I will be getting the land with them. It is 40 acres. And with 40 acres of property, we are each going to have our own areas. Like, let's just say we have 13 acres apiece. You know, like we're going to have our own sections and area. I'm not going to give away everything that we plan on doing to the property. You guys will just have to wait for the videos to come out. I made the decision to get land with two other friends of mine because of the fact that I'm going to need the help on doing things. Just like they're probably going to need some help too. So we're going to have to help each other. Due to the fact also that I've been dealing with that stalker situation, yes, it's still going on, for the last 2 years. And I also have this other creepy guy that I've been dealing with for like the last year. He's not really stalking me. I mean, he has come to a couple of my meet and greets, like 2 of my meet and greets. But it's... the emails from this guy were just so inappropriate, and it's been going on for a year, and he basically, I'm not even going to get into the details of it because it's just ridiculous. It's absurd that people can even do stuff like this and get away with it. But because I've been dealing with those things, and I probably will continue to deal with more creepy people or stalkers in the future, or anything like that, I personally just don't feel safe getting a secluded property by myself and being on the property by myself. I have multiple forms of protection, and I'm not talking about my dog here that thinks she's a pit bull, but I have multiple forms of protection, but I never want it to come down to me having to use that protection, because I think if I did have to do that, that it would probably make my nerves so bad that I would want to quit living in nature completely, and I don't want that to happen, because this was a lifesaver for me. So, I am getting the property with 2 other people. It's going to be a lot, because getting this property, basically right now, because of my financial situation and because of last year, really put me in the hole really bad. I'm going to be starting off a little slow, because I'm not coming into this property with a lot of money. I'm just not. So I'm going to be doing things. I'm not going to say cheap, but like, we're not going to go and get this well put in that costs thousands of dollars. I will probably get a tiny home, but I think I'm going to have to finance the tiny home when I get it to put on the property, because the property does get snow during the winter time, and I cannot live in this bus on the property in snow because of the heating situation. So I'm looking into getting one of those tiny shed homes so I can put a wood burning stove inside of it and insulate it, because that's going to be the smart thing for the winter time for me and my dog. I don't have the money to purchase the tiny home yet, so I'm just going to finance it in the beginning, and then hopefully when things get better financially, I can just pay it off. I'm not going to tell you everything that we're going to be doing and all that stuff, you know, but, you know, getting off-grid land and homesteading, doing stuff like that, it takes some time. It takes some time to build your land, build your property, and it's a never-ending thing. Never. You're always working on your land. You're always working on your property, you know, so, and then I have, you know, like my personal things that I'll do to the property, like my tiny home and stuff like that. That'll be my thing. But like the outdoor shower and, you know, water and all that stuff, we'll be splitting it 3 ways. So that will help me out a little bit too. So I think this has been a really, really good decision. And 40 acres is such a huge piece of property that, you know, if one of my friends happens to be over there, way over there, or the other one happens to be way over there, you know, we're still going to have our own little paradise and our own little seclusion. So yeah, I will be quitting the van life this year. But I will be getting back on the road to go travel and take breaks and camp and all that stuff. You know, I'll still be traveling every once in a while. Once I get time at the property and get everything kind of settled in with my living stuff and all that, I'll probably take a month and go somewhere, you know, in the bus or whatever. But for right now, once I get to the property in April, I will be at the property for the rest of the year. Now, there is some things in that I might, you know, I'm probably going to have to take a break and maybe take a week to go camp somewhere or something, which will be fine. But pretty much I'm going to be at the property for the rest of the year, because the first thing that we have to do is get the property ready for winter and the snow, and make things livable, you know, for us for the winter time. So yeah, I'm excited, and you know, I'm sorry this video is long again, but I just kind of wanted to explain everything and show you guys some of the adventures that I've been on trying to look for land. Boy, were those adventures. Another new chapter in my life has started, and I'm excited. As far as the channel goes, I will be doing a little bit of transitioning with the channel, because I'm not going to be living the van life full time. I'm not going to be a nomad full time. So I will be doing a little bit of transitioning, like the description of the channel. Also, I'm thinking about changing the name of the channel to like Wandering Gypsy's Off-Grid Life or Gypsy's Off-Grid Life, because technically, even though I got property and it's off-grid living, when I go out and travel in the bus and everything, that's still off-grid living too, you know. So I've been off-grid living for the last 4.5 years. So, but tell me what you guys think about me changing the name of the channel. And yes, I am going to keep my name Wandering Gypsy, because I do still have my Jeep, and I'm not getting rid of my Jeep. In the area, by the way, has a lot of off-roading too, so I will be taking the Jeep out to do some trails and stuff too. And then I've just branded myself over the last 4.5 years with my name, so it makes no sense for me to change my name at all. I have it tattooed on me now, so I'm stuck with the name Wandering Gypsy. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video, and I'm excited to finally share the news with you guys, and stay tuned and be patient. You know, like, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of ups and downs with this land, and there's going to be a lot of mistakes made. I already know, you know, so it's a learning process. But you know what? This, living in Jeeps, towing that travel trailer, living in this bus, just being on the road traveling full time, was all a learning thing for me. All learning. Every day I wake up, it's still learning. So I made the last 4.5 years work. I can make the rest of my life work homesteading and living off grid on this land. So I'm excited. So stay tuned.